Hello and welcome back. Today we are going to talk about a very interesting concept which is getting created in the country today. ONDC, Open Network for Digital Commerce. What is it that we're going to talk about today? What is the concept which is getting done in India? Why is it important for you as a customer? Will it save you money? Do you have a choice? Do you have a choice of a seller? Do you have a choice of the best product available? Do you have the choice of the best price available? If yes, how will you access ONDC and how and what will you benefit by doing it? This episode will talk to you about the telltale details of the pros and cons of doing and buying through ONDC. Keep watching because this episode at the end of the day will give you something which you should know and should do in this country now. Most of us know that there is a product or a platform which is called Paytm. It is a buyer app on ONDC and it has decided to forego 3% of commission on charges fulfilled by the seller where there will be no complaints from and by the customers. Now, ONDC is posing a threat to the leading food delivery platforms in India and by providing cheaper food to customers through its open networks of restaurants and delivery partners. Now, ONDC's chief, who is the CEO, T. Koshi, also announced that the discounts will be offered by ONDC for the rest of the year till it jump starts the business on a protocol by assisting the network participants, which is wooing the buyers. Now, ONDC has expanded its operations to close to 236 cities in the country while adding more than 36,000 merchants and 55,000 taxi cab owners. And it has also launched mobility operations in 2 cities in South India and is planning to launch 4 more cities soon. The Indian Postal Service has also joined ONDC network to provide logistics services to small traders across the country. Trust me, this is something new which has come into this arena and it will make a difference in our life. Let us understand this a little deeper. What is the aim of ONDC? ONDC aims to democratize e-commerce by reducing the entry barriers for small and medium businesses and enabling them to participate in the digital economy. It will help curb the monopoly of big players and increasing the reach of the small merchant to the customer. It will also help the large number of buyers with the available sellers present in the network, and there will be a coexistence of buyer and sellers, and the startup innovation, the small time merchant, the open interchanges, the connection between the shopper, telephone platform, technology platforms and retailers and the logistics partner are all getting housed at one place, which is ONDC. And this open network will help both the customers and the sellers to coexist and survive at the best possible scenario. Now, what does it and how does ONDC different from other e-commerce platforms? ONDC is different from other platforms in a very different construct that they have built. ONDC does not adopt a platform centric model but an open network approach. Now, what does it mean? E-commerce will be more accessible today in ONDC for all kinds of shoppers and vendors, and they can connect to each other different platforms without requiring to register on a platform where the other is present. Now, what does it mean? ONDC aims to replace the existing silos and monopolies in e-commerce with more inclusive competitive ecosystem. How will it do that? It will support the small and medium businesses, which is the kirana stores, and the rural consumers are often overlooked or exploited by the dominant platforms. Now, ONDC is changing the way the business is being done. How? ONDC will not charge any commission or fees from the seller or buyer on its network. Instead, it will rely on a voluntary contribution from the network participants and other sources of funding. This will help the sellers to save on the hefty commission and pass it on the savings to the buyer directly. Now, what does it mean? ONDC is enabling a greater innovation, is collaborating among various players in the e-commerce sector, that is logistic firms, credit providers, inventory management, bookkeeping companies, and other ancillary businesses. It will create a common protocol and standard APIs to performing commercial transaction, digital contracts for identified transaction and its content, and the platform discovery by means of registry infrastructure and the information packet switching using gateway infrastructure. It is complicated, right? But I will explain to you it a little later as to what does it mean. Now, ONDC also is empowering the users to provide a rating to the service providers on its network, which will be applicable and visible across the network. This will help to ensure quality and accountability of the services provided by the network participants. How does ONDC work? ONDC is a network of number of small and large scale e-commerce players who agree to come on a common protocol, standard APIs for performing commercial transactions. Now, ONDC enables and displays the products and services from all participating e-commerce platforms in a search across all apps on the network. For example, if both Amazon and Flipkart integrate their platform with ONDC, a user searching for a coffee machine on Amazon would also see results from Flipkart on Amazon app. Now, ONDC also allows the buyers and the sellers to connect with each other directly without requiring them to register on a platform where the other is present. This way, we can save the commission and the fees charged by intermediaries. ONDC also enables collaboration, innovation amongst various players. And what it really does is it is now interoperable, which means the network participants work together without configured to any single platform. Let's example, we have an ATM card. I have an ATM card which belongs to a particular bank like HDFC. Now I push in the ATM card in the HDFC ATM and take the money out. I can go to an SBI ATM. I can go to a Kotak ATM. I can go to a City ATM or an Axis ATM and then take the money and withdraw the money. That is called interoperable. And that interoperability is available here. Same is in the telecom sector which we have seen. So if I've got a SIM card, if I've got a number, I can interoperably move that number from a Vodafone to an Airtel and to a Reliance. And that is what is happening on the e-commerce platform. And that is big. That is big because if someone is sitting in Amazon and someone is not sitting in Flipkart, they can't do business. But if today on ONDC, if you are sitting in that platform, you can still do business with everyone else. Now, the second aspect of ONDC, which is critical to understand, is it is unbundled. ONDC breaks down the complex systems into a granular level of activity or microservices. For example, in an e-commerce transaction, there is a seller side, there is a logistics through which the goods and services will move from one place to another place, which is from the seller's place to the buyer's place. And then there is a payment system, and then there is a buyer side who will be able to handle the entity. Let us assume you want to buy apple from Kashmir and you find the best available seller there. Within the network, you will be able to find the logistics partner also. You can choose the logistics partner. Then you can choose the bank through which you want to pay. And you make the buy from the place or the seller you want to. You are choosing the logistics partner and then you are choosing the payment mode. After you have made that payment, the seller will send you the goods. Once the seller sends you the goods through the chosen logistics partner, through the payment that they have received, once you receive the goods, you will give a rating. The rating will get provided to the seller, and that rating then signifies the quality of it. Now, currently in the ecosystem, you go to a platform, you just buy a product, the payment and the logistics is taken care by the platform, and there is a trust factor here today. And the trust factor is that the replacement, the whole process of taking the product back, if there is an issue, how do I solve it? I go back to the platform owner and I speak to the platform owner, and the platform owner gives us all the ready responses regarding the product which I'm buying. Now, that particular aspect has to be solved for in the ONDC platform. What are the benefits of ONDC for the customers or the consumers? ONDC will provide us a wide range of products and services and a improved price, because it will give us an opportunity to find all of this. But all of this has to be built by trust and confidence on the online e-commerce that will lead to an early adoption and usage, and it will build it in the near future. The second thing which we will get an advantage today is the consumers getting to save commissions and fee charged by the intermediaries. While today we see a difference between two platforms, an ONDC platform and a food delivery platform of close to 30 to 40%, I don't think that this will exist once we get into situations, because today ONDC is being provided with some waivers and some commissions being eliminated and other stuff, because of which you see a difference. But over a period of time, we may end up reducing that 35-40% to a 15-20%, but still there will be a difference. Once you see that and the trust builds happening, the legal cases are being solved, there is a trust between the buyer and the seller, the trust between the logistics partner, the payment ecosystem working, and there is the whole service mentality which comes into play, we will see a better avenue in terms of building this. The other element of ONDC which will come into perspective is our access to the local commerce across important segments like grocery, food delivery, hotel booking, travel bookings, and more. And it will also provide the customer with a wide range of choices and a better deal. And they will also help us to create more accountability and quality of services. But there are certain challenges which we need to understand, which ONDC will have. The challenges which will be there in ONDC is that it is very complex to coordinate and collaborate among various stakeholders and to standardize the protocols and the APIs across different sectors and platforms, because it is not only about e-commerce, it is about the aggregation of the travel industry, the aggregation of all the cab industry, the aggregation of all the kirana stores, the aggregation of all small time merchants like the flower sellers, the street vendors, and all of that together onto the e-commerce platform. Now, the second aspect which we need to also understand is that there has to be a big resistance which will get faced by ONDC because of the fear of trust. And how do you perceive this? Because the dominant e-commerce platform players will always talk about data privacy and security and compliances with these existing laws and regulation, and how do we get it deployed in this ecosystem, and how do people trust all of that. The third would be the lack of awareness, and also the potential users who will always think twice before getting into the build and the buy of things from a small time seller. Now the network will be there, the sellers have to be trained, the buyers also have to have a trust, then all this ecosystem of onboarding the sellers and putting the network into play and creating that with the right set of discounts and promotions and incentives to attract the customers and also for the sellers to fulfill the orders will be an arduous task. But having said that, there is a lot of benefit for the sellers. Now, what are the benefits that ONDC does for the sellers? ONDC helps the sellers to access the buyers across different platforms, regions, and also to increase the discoverability and visibility online. Now, ONDC also makes sure that the seller saves on the commission, the fee charges from the intermediaries, and connects the buyers directly to them. They also have more autonomy in terms of conditions as they have multiple choices for being digitally available. It also improves the efficiency and the lower cost of doing business for the seller, because now they are able to standardize and innovate through the network. They can also access various value chain services like logistics, fulfillment, payment, inventory management, and offer this to the network participants. Now the seller always has a question: how do I join ONDC? ONDC, you don't have to do much as a seller to join. You just have to follow a simple step. You just must have a GSTI number, which is a goods and services tax identification number, and an active bank account, so that you can integrate with the buyer app. You must sign on the onboarding agreement with ONDC and fill out the seller registration form. Then you must choose a preferred brand name and a fulfillment partner. Then you must onboard to a robust seller platform that is compatible with ONDC such as My Store. This will help you to manage your products, orders, inventory, payment, etc. Then you must integrate the platform with the ONDC network using the standard protocols and the APIs provided by ONDC 56. This will engage you to display products and services and the network and connect with buyers across different platforms. ONDC can also help sellers enhance their customer experience and satisfaction, as they can offer better pricing, quality, and delivery to the buyers. They can also get valuable customer data and feedback and strategically plan their marketing campaigns. But does a ONDC buyer need to join it? No, 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 no. That's not the answer. The buyer just need not join ONDC. They just go to a buyer app that is part of the ONDC network. Like you go to a Paytm, you click on ONDC, the ONDC app will open. The moment you open the ONDC app, you will find that there is food, and within the food, if you click, then you will find all the products which is available under the food category. Similarly, you can go to My Store, Craftsvilla, Spice Money, Meshu, Magic Pin, and Pin Code. All of this will give a buyer an opportunity to search for products and services, compare the prices, features, place orders, make payments, track delivery, and rate the service provider on the ONDC network itself. Why is it very, very important to understand this network, and what is the benefit for the buyer? And what are the successful examples of transactions on ONDC? Let us assume a buyer from Delhi ordered a pair of headphones from a seller in Mumbai using the Paytm app. The seller was using My Store app to manage his online business. The buyer paid through the Paytm and received the product within 2 days through the Indian Postal Service, which was also a part of the ONDC network. The buyer rated the seller and the delivery services on the Paytm app, which was visible across the network. The second scenario is a buyer from a Bengaluru ordered a pizza from a local restaurant using the Pin Code app. The restaurant was using the Craftsvilla app to list its menu and accept the orders. The buyer paid through Pin Code and received the pizza within 30 minutes through a delivery partner who was also part of the ONDC network. The buyer rated the restaurant and the delivery partner on the Pin Code app, which was visible across the network. Now that is unbundling. So you chose the buyer, as a buyer, you chose the seller, you chose the logistics partner, and you used the Pin Code as a payment methodology. So everything is getting unbundled, and you still end up rating the service provider, both the logistics and also the food service provider. How to know which buyer is on ONDC? You don't have to do a lot of research on this one. You just need to know which buyer apps are part of ONDC network, and you can visit the official website of ONDC, which is https://ondc.org/ondc-buyers-apps. You will find this written down on the screen, and you can use this to see the list of buyers app that are live on the network, and you can easily shop for products and services across different categories and platforms. ONDC plans to grow very fast in India, and what is the future of ONDC? Let us discuss that. ONDC aims to raise the e-commerce platform penetration in the next 2 years to 25%. 25% of India's consumer purchases from nearly 8% now. Now, India is today 1.35 billion people. It also helps to sign up 900 million buyers and 1.2 million sellers on the shared network within the next 5 years, while achieving a gross merchandise value of $48 billion. Now, ONDC has the potential. It has the potential because India's digital consumption will grow by 5 times to around $340 billion by 2030, according to McKinsey report. Now, the report also says that ONDC will create 10 million new jobs and add 100 billion to India's GDP by 2013. Now, India will serve as a level playing field for all businesses and provide a foundation for startups, ecosystem players, including banks, MSMEs, and the telcos to find new avenues to innovate and grow. And according to ONDC MD, He also said this ONDC will foster healthy competition, benefit consumers, and contribute to the overall growth of the digital ecosystem in India. Now, can ONDC become global? ONDC has a potential to become a global player because it has got the uniqueness, it has got the innovation of model of e-commerce that can be replicated, adopted in other countries. It can also leverage the India's large and diverse market with the strong IT and digital capabilities. Its leadership in the digital infrastructure, the public infrastructure, wherein you have the base, which is the 4G, 5G, then you have the identification, which is Aadhaar, then you have got the digital interface, which is the DigiLocker, everything, and then on top of that you've got the payment ecosystem, which is RuPay and other payment methodology. On top of that you've got the whole economical pyramid, which is got built on the identification metric, and that is the public infrastructure which India has been able to build in the last 5-10 years. Now that is going to create a global impact because that will then now benefit all the stakeholders. So when we conclude on ONDC, there are a couple of things which we need to understand is that it aims to benefit the buyers and the sellers, especially the kirana and the small and the medium businesses and the rural consumers who are often overlooked and exploited by dominant platforms. It also will encourage job creation, GDP growth, digital consumption, e-commerce penetration, and has the potential to become a global player because of the uniqueness. And it will create a transformation engine that reimagines digital commerce for everyone in the world. With that, we come to the end of this long but detailed ONDC analysis. And what is it for you? If you like the video, please press the like button. If you have questions, please drop in a note below the video and I will be able to respond to your comments. Please switch on the notification buttons, and if you want such videos to come back to you, keep commenting, keep liking, keep subscribing, and we will see you more. Have a nice day and bye-bye.